Me and music go back a long ways, like all the way back to the very beginning. Before the world made sense to look at or could be explained with words, there were notes in the sound of my mother's voice and rhythm in her heart's beat. Music started time for me. I grew up around keyboards, the old-fashioned kind, toy pianos, old donated Sunday school spinets, Magnus and Hammond organs. They were all like doorways to other dimensions, spaceships that could fly me through invisible landscapes of thought and story. Their black and white control panels became as much a part of me as my fingers. But like fingers, they'd always been there. I took their music for granted. It didn't even seem to have anything to do with what played on the radio or phonograph records. When I was in second grade, I inherited an old violin just in time to start lessons at school. But every time I tucked it under my chin, I forgot where the notes were. Months went by without my learning even a simple tune. Finally, the teacher turned me away with a note from my parents. I stood in the hall outside her studio door and read it. It said she was sorry, but that I had no aptitude for music. I'd gotten used to being bad at writing and arithmetic, but this is what I'd always seemed best at. It was one of the saddest days of my life. I could play just about anything, but not that violin, nor even a guitar I got myself later with green stamps. Still, I loved touching the sounds those strings made. But there's just something about fingering frets just always got me lost. I couldn't practice what I'd never been able to do in the first place. Another 4 years would pass before Carlos's well-tempered synthesizer introduced me to a whole other way of hearing music. It'd be another year or two after that when another music teacher would overhear my secretly, since I had no aptitude, playing an auditorium grand. He mistook my feral meandering for a Bach piece he'd never heard before. That began a decade-long love-hate affair with a music man too stubborn to let me not know what a bass clef was or which hand was which. Turns out I just might not be wired to do anything quite like anyone else would. Maybe no one is, but that's another story. Home theater organs evolved into touch-sensitive keyboards. Computers became notational scribes and sound generators. Finally, Star Trek clipboards became iPads. I would have my own Moog, and even a Vulcan harp. I tried to learn the guitar again, but failed. Again. Then a month or so ago...
It's a revolutionary multi-instrument that goes with you anywhere and can sound like anything. It can be held in multiple positions and played with a variety of techniques.
Artiphon. As I first fumble-fingered it like a guitar, I thought it a good thing I could still play the instrument like a keyboard. Then something amazing happened. Just a week later, Artiphon introduced its Smart Strum. The apps on my iPad streamed sound out of the instrument speakers into my hands. Its touch-sensitive strings became individual keys. For the first time I could play a violin. I could play an entire orchestra.